Magokichi Yamaoka, the founder of Yanmar, was born in 1888 in the impoverished village of Minami Tominaga in central Japan's Shiga Prefecture near Kyoto. The little village was east of Lake Biwa, facing Mount Shizugatake and the Ibuki Mountains at the north end of the Omi Plain. Japan was working hard to modernize, but life in the village was hard. Having graduated from elementary school and worked on the family farm for 2 years, at the age of 15, Magokichi set out for Osaka with high hopes. After working as an apprentice in a number of different fields, he landed a job at Osaka Gas. Back in those days, gas technology was cutting edge, and Magokichi sensed a bright future. He worked diligently to learn the technology of gas engines. Then, in 1907, at the tender age of 19, he founded Yamaoka Works, a supplier of gas equipment and rubber hoses. Five years later, in 1912, he founded Yamaoka Hatsudoki Kosakusho, selling and repairing gas engines. At first, Magokichi's business thrived, but times were changing, and plentiful supplies of electric power for non-lighting applications were becoming available in Japan's cities. Gas engines quickly became yesterday's technology. But Magokichi reasoned that there were still many potential customers for his engines in rural areas. With his natural enthusiasm, he extended his business across the country. But after the First World War, Japan's economy went into a slump. Sales of gas engines plummeted. Magokichi was stymied. Still, although barely 30 years old, he had managed to accumulate 300,000 yen, about $30 million today. He decided to shut down his business and return to his hometown. One day at a nearby farm, Magokichi happened to see a gas engine that had been converted to oil to provide power for rice hulling. He immediately understood that oil engines could be extremely useful in a wide range of applications. Magokichi plunged into the development of his own oil engine, and in 1921 completed a prototype horizontal oil engine for agricultural use. The engine was sold under the Yanmar brand. Magokichi took the name of his brand from the Yanma, a large dragonfly seen in autumn rice fields. His oil engines were in great demand not only for hulling rice, but also for pumping water because of a drought that had dragged on for 2 long years. But as a fuel, oil had drawbacks. Leaking oil could ignite, and fires sometimes broke out. While such problems were due to operator error, Magokichi was still greatly concerned. Around that time, Magokichi was invited to an industrial exhibition in Germany. The Leipzig Messe is one of the world's largest trade fairs. There, Magokichi saw a film about MAN AG, the developers of the world's first diesel engine. Accidental ignition is less of a problem with heavy diesel oil, and diesel is also less expensive. Magokichi was excited by the possibilities. He thought, there must be a way to build a small diesel engine, and was sure that even struggling farmers would want to buy them. As soon as he returned to Japan, Magokichi started working on his idea. But the challenge proved far more difficult than he'd expected. A year passed, then 6 more months. Even Magokichi was exhausted. Was he chasing an impossible goal? Then one morning he was met at the company by excited voices. His engineers were shouting, "We did it!" Magokichi rushed to the factory. The little engine was humming away without a trace of smoke. It produced 3 horsepower and up to 5 horsepower under load. The Model HP was the world's first small, horizontal, water-cooled diesel engine. The engineers shed tears of joy as they stood and watched the completed engine running smoothly. Just then, they heard the shouts of newspaper boys. The birth of the Crown Prince had been announced. That memorable date was December 23, 1933, a date the company would later designate as Diesel Day. Following the Model HP, Magokichi and his engineers went on to develop the even smaller Model S, building a new factory and starting mass production. Magokichi declared, "We're stopping the production of oil engines. From now on, Yanmar is dedicated to diesel engines." Diesel fuel was much cheaper than oil and twice as efficient. Diesel technology would help not only Japan's struggling farmers, but also the entire nation. Magokichi proclaimed that Yanmar's new motto would be, "To conserve fuel is to serve mankind." At the close of the Second World War, Yanmar's production facilities had been destroyed by bombing, but plant machinery had been dispersed for safety and escaped damage. A new era was dawning. Yanmar's post-war recovery began with marine applications. In 1951, Yanmar developed the light Model K diesel engine for agricultural use, and the company's name was changed to Yanmar Diesel. It was the dawn of the diesel age. Yanmar popularized its diesel engines through academic lectures and demonstrations, as well as factory study trips. The company also carried out publicity campaigns, including a helicopter campaign, a daring PR effort to visit over 300 farming and fishing villages throughout the country by helicopter. The campaign attracted extensive press coverage. Gradually, Yanmar brand diesel engines became famous throughout Japan and the world. Today, with diesel engines at the forefront, Yanmar technology is proving its value in a wide range of areas, from agriculture and marine applications to the construction industry and energy systems, establishing a reputation for quality and performance around the globe. Throughout his life, Magokichi Yamaoka was committed to rendering assistance to those in need and to being of service to others. In 1957, Magokichi established a Japanese stone garden in Augsburg, Germany, to commemorate Dr. Rudolf Diesel's outstanding achievements and traveled all the way to Germany to attend the dedication ceremony. Magokichi Yamaoka once said, "Today, when we look at the world around us, we see so many people suffering from a shortage of food and from a lack of access to electricity. There is still much that all of us can do to help."